Hey guys, Chart Stopper's back with another video. In this channel, we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before buying any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. Also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options, you definitely are going to want to get familiar with support and resistance. Just to let you know, I am not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description below for Webull. You can use it to start an account and get one free stock. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and get one free stock. We will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation, leave a comment below and I'll try to get to it. Also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Okay, so let's get into the stock we're talking about today. Today we are talking about Nike. It's currently trading at $142.12. It was down almost 1% on Friday. So we're going to get into the daily chart on this one, and we're going to be mapping out the key support and resistance areas. So let's get into it here. Okay, so we're going to be starting at the bottom here, and I'm going to be finding my base of the chart, and it looks like I could find that right around here at $50. So I'm just going to map that out, and I'm going to be moving up from there. So I'm going to try to find my first resistance point, and it looks like I can find that at around $60. So I'm just going to mark that off right here at around $60, and I'm going to move up from there, grabbing another line, and it looks like my next resistance point I could find at about $70. So I'm just going to mark that off. As you can see, we had our nice base at 50, hit our first resistance point at 60, as the price kind of traded in between there for a while. Oh, and we also went back to the beginning of 2000, or the middle of 2017. Just to, we're not going to go all the way back because it's pretty pointless to go all the way back on the chart. We're just starting from a certain point on the chart because I don't think this thing's dropping below 50 anytime soon. So as we're moving along here, you could see it broke through that $60 mark and traded in between here for a while before finally breaking through our $70 resistance. Okay, so moving up from our $70 resistance, we're going to be trying to find our next point of resistance, and it looks like we could find that at about $90. So I'm just going to mark that off right there at $90 because you could see it kind of went up there, tried to hit $90, couldn't quite hit it, and fell back down a couple times, and our $70 resistance point turned into support as the price fell down, hit that $70 support, and bounced back up. So moving along here, you could see that in 2019 it finally broke through our $90, and that was on a pretty good earnings report here, and it made its way up to around, it looks like $100, and it tried to break through the $100, and it did a little bit, but it dropped right back down during COVID, and then it tried to recover after COVID, and it dropped down again until after an earnings report. So I'm going to call that resistance also at $100. And then you had during COVID, actually, this thing dropped all the way back down to our $60 resistance, or our $60 support. So as you can see, that was a huge drop. And if you were buying during COVID, you could have got this thing on sale for a huge discount, all the way from $100 down to $60. That would have been huge. Because as you could see, after COVID, it had a huge run up in price, all the way pretty much going from $60 to our next resistance point after this earnings report. Right here, it kind of traded sideways for a little bit, for a couple weeks, and then it busted out and it broke free trading all the way up to $130. And that's where it had hit its next resistance. So I'm going to mark that off as our next resistance point, $130 right there. And then, you know, it did drop down after that, and it was trading in between, you know, 120 and 130 for a little bit. So I'm going to call 120 support off of that, 130 resistance. So I'm going to mark that off on our chart. And then it broke through our 130 to hit our all-time high of 100 and almost 48. So I'm going to mark that off on our chart right there. And that's going to do it for everything we're marking off on our chart, because you could see after it hit that all-time high, it dropped down to our support, or our former resistance now, which is now our support at 130. And then it kind of traded back up to hit a double top almost right here of almost 148. So that's everything we need to look at on our chart pretty much. It looks pretty good right there. And now we'll get into our price prediction for Nike. You know, even during the pandemic, Nike was able to continue to grow their revenue and sales through their online retail because of their strong foothold in China and around the world. And I think it's only going to get better with more and more people returning to stores and malls, and less people afraid to go out and shop, with more and more people getting vaccinated. And, you know, Nike also has a dividend of 0.71. So it's a great stock to put your money into for a dividend alone. But it has slow and steady growth. So it's just a great stock to grow your money for the dividend and the growth. As you could see on our chart, I mean, look at the growth. You know, it's slow and steady right here. But look at after COVID. I mean, this thing almost looks like a growth stock, you know, with the way it just shot right up. You know, these huge earnings reports we've been seeing lately coming out of Nike, you've been seeing a lot of growth out of this stock. So a lot of people have been putting their money into this stock just for the dividend alone. But with the growth you've been seeing, it's a great stock to put your money into. And I would highly recommend, if you're too afraid to, you know, risk putting your money into the stock market with riskier stocks, this would be a great play to, you know, slow and steadily grow your money with the dividend and the growth. So my price prediction for this one is going to be $185 by the end of the year. And I think it'll definitely hit that with the earnings coming out. I think, you know, it shouldn't have a problem. I think it's going to crush all of its earnings reports, as it usually does. You know, we've been seeing that the past couple earnings reports, it's killed it. So I don't think it should have a problem beating their earnings. So that's my video on Nike. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to check out the next video. So we'll see you next time on Chart Stoppers.